This is how it goes, brother and sister, sometimes. I've noticed. We believe this Bible. Now stand up in front of you, in front of the assembly. We believe this Bible. We believe every word of it. Well, that kind of talk inspired me to write this little paper here. After I found out that they didn't believe every word of it, they just say they believe every word of it. And I call this little paper, They Claim to Believe God's Book. uh, and one time I called it Fill in the Blank Church because, in other words, does this fit you? Fill in the blank if this fits you. But anyway, I named it They Claim to Believe God's Book. I want to try to do it again after they wave this Bible up in front of your face. Says, we believe every word of it. And then here comes this great truth about Joshua's longest day, and how that it cannot be what they're believing and cannot be the truth. They're not believing God's book. But anyway, that's how it goes. They claim to believe God's book. It goes like this. We believe the Bible here at Fill in the Blank Church. We believe every word of it, and we only practice or teach what Scripture authorizes here at Fill in the Blank Church. We do not shrink from declaring the whole counsel of God here at Fill in the Blank Church. Beloved, that is all well and good, but I just need you to answer a couple of questions for me. Did Joshua bid the sun and moon to stand still, or did he command the earth to stop spinning? I find it quite odd that most of the modern day supposed ministers of the gospel choose to avoid this text. And if they do mention it, they totally ignore the undeniable reality that if Joshua did command the sun and moon to stand still, which I believe he did, then most of God's people and the whole world are believing a lie. Oh, they'll put Mr. Darwin's theory in the trash can of our false science history, and well, they should. But when it comes to this obvious, colossal elephant in the room with them, they turn a blind eye. Sad to say that from our childhood, this unproven, devilish deception of a spinning ball earth has been taught as fact in virtually all of the public and private schools of our land, and so-called Christian schools as well, who claim to believe God's book. Well, I just wanted to redo that one and put it out there for some of the people that tune in and hadn't heard all the old stuff that I put up. They claim to believe God's book, but brother, when it comes to when the rubber meets the road, and they're going to have to be face a little humble pie, eat a little humble pie, and they got egg on their face because they got up there and claim to believe God's book. Well, I'm telling you, you don't believe God's book if you believe. If that's part about God's book. Joshua's longest day. The sun and moon stand still, but no, they just didn't have they didn't have all the rockets and stuff that we have, all the technology. So that's just the way they saw it. They explained it away. No, brother and sister, they don't believe God's book. If you leave out that, you're not getting the whole counsel of God. God is on the side of truth. He says, "I'll lead you into all truth." You say, God's interested in all truth. But anyway, no, they claim to believe God's book. These fill in the blank churches. I don't call any names because I was one of them too. But they claim to believe God's book, but they don't, brothers and sisters, because just that one place right there, you don't even have to go any further about how all the other places which talking about a stable earth, the earth is fixed and immovable. all kind of texts in there about that. But I just got to take that one right there. They claim to believe God's book, but they don't. But anyway, egg on your face, humble pie to eat if you want to get over on the truth train. Peace and love from this old boy down here in Alabama.